And the thing about that's not goes broke in 5 years, but that's not the most disturbing fact. The most disturbing fact is that it don't matter how much money they win. It ain't no difference. You win 5 million, you win 400 million. They still go broke in 5 years because they don't have the proper mindset. So I can give you all the picks in the world. I can give you all of it. We can all discuss what was going to go, where it's going to go. You put your money in, but you will lose it because you don't have the right mindset. So I want to talk about rats in the vat, right? So 1950s, some scientists said, hey, we want to see how long a rat could last. If we throw him in a vat full of water, we make the side so the rat can't come out. And we observe this rat to see how long he can swim before he falls to exhaustion and drowns. But we won't let him drown. That'd be inhumane or cruel. We'll make sure right before he drowns, we'll take the rat out, dry him off, and then, do some tests on him. So they put these rats in a vat full of water. They let them swim. They sat there and documented the rats. They watched the rats, see how long they could last, observe their behavior. 90% of the rats started drowning around the 15-minute mark. 16-minute, all the rats have given up. So 15, 16 minutes, rats just gave up. So they wrote it down in their book, rats can only last 15 minutes in water. So they took all the rats out, dried them up, made sure their body temperature was back up, let them rest for a few minutes. Then they put the rats back in because they said, hey, we want to see how long the rats could last after a short rest. Put them back in. They observed the rats. So what do you think happened? How long do you think the rats last? They've already swam it for their dear life for 15 minutes. For their dear life, they swam for 15 minutes. So obviously they can only last, 3-4 minutes? What do you think? 3, 4? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, another 15 minutes? No, the rats lasted for 60 hours. Not minutes, 60 hours. The conclusion was that the rats understood that eventually something would happen. The scientists pulling them out of water, so their struggle was not in vain. So once you taught the rat that after 15 minutes of struggle, something was going to come and save you, and your fight, your struggle, your pain wouldn't be in vain. So now the rats have hope. They have belief. So that hope and belief drove them to 60 hours of swimming after the first time. Right? That happens in our own life, right? So I want to talk about that because that's the importance of hope and mindset, right? Because if I'm like that rat and I don't believe I can do anything, or I don't have hope, I'll give up before I even start. Because I don't feel like nothing's coming, nothing's happened. You have to tell yourself that you have the talent, you have the belief. You have the talent, you have the ability, you have the intelligence to succeed. And you have to make yourself believe that. Because that alone will drive you so far that eventually something will happen. Eventually, divine providence will come and save you. Because you saved yourself more or less because you had the talent, ability, and intelligence to pull yourself out of that vat. So I just want to say the belief in yourself is the most powerful motivator you can have. It's the strongest thing that can drive you to greatness, right? But if you don't have belief in yourself, you might as well give up like so many people. The vast majority, the masses, give up before they start. And it's so sad because once your mindset changes, once you have that belief in yourself, once you have hope that one day your pain, struggle, and suffering will be over, one day you'll make it to the promised land. One day, all of the dreams that you had will come to fruition. Once you get that in your mind, nothing can stop you because you're unstoppable, you're unbeatable, you're undeniable, right? So just like that rat, like I said, is that if you have hope, you can push yourself until providence comes and pulls you out of the vat just like the rat. So I need you guys to hit that like button. Somebody said it. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, I need your subscription right now. We got 500 people. I only got like 300 people on Instagram. It must be a basketball game on. But I think the playoffs on. So my numbers go down when there's any big event on Sunday. So yeah, we got 550 people on YouTube though. We got about 300 on Instagram. So like I said, is that just speaking on that point, I need you guys to, like I said, subscribe, like the channel. But I want to make another point here, is that I don't know if you guys saw it, but I posted something about making sure people get their passports in case the United States or anything else, that there's some big calamity in the world and you got to get out of the country fast, right? And what really perplexes me is that I post things that I believe, I post things that I like, I post things that I think would be beneficial to you guys, make some money or learn or change your mindset, whatever. Sometimes I just post jokes. I post what I want, I don't care. So I don't understand how I post something about pastors, people get angry, death threats and stuff. Sometimes I post stuff and I get death threats or something that's just like passports, right? So a young lady got mad at me and screamed and all this stuff in my inbox. She said that I was stupid, I was ignorant because nobody would accept people from the United States because people hate you Americans. So if some kind of calamity happened, it wouldn't matter if you have your passport or not because nobody would accept you. And, you know, other countries won't accept refugees. They don't like Americans, especially certain people and all this stuff. That's the mindset of not having hope, of just giving up. Some people let that mindset infect every facet of their life. Everything they do. And they don't even realize it's happening because you'll say, these people live their lives in a way that you'll say something and they come up with the negative way already. They constantly go around every day coming with the negative, anything anybody says. I want to start a business. Well, they already got that. I think I'm going to quit my job. What you going to do for health insurance? It's always negative because they have no hope. They have nothing on the horizon. They don't believe they can do it, so you can't do it either. You got to cut these people out of your life. And I talk about that in my book. These type of people will pull you down into the dirt. I don't care if they're your family, cousins, or whatever. You got to cut them out. Like the Bible said, if your eye offends you, cut it out. If your family, friends, whoever it is offending your path to success, you cut them out. I'm not saying forever, but you cut them out your daily life. You can contact them, see what they're doing every once in a while, but you don't hang out with them. You don't be around them. You got to be careful what they say and what they do because it seeps into your mind, into your conscious, and it goes with you once you leave them. You got to be very, very careful about protecting your conscience. So, with that being said, let's talk a little bit about Pepe, meme stocks. Then we're going to talk. So let's say we're going to talk about Pepe. We're going to talk about meme stocks. Then we're going to talk about the great semiconductor wars that could be happening one day. And then we're going to talk about AI stocks. The bull market is coming. And we're going to talk about Coinbase. So, with that being said, let's move on. So, about the passport, somebody just said countries will let you in. But like I said, countries won't let you in or whatever. It don't matter because you're better off with a passport regardless. At least you got the hope with a passport. No passport, you don't even have hope. So it only costs $130. Go ahead and get one. But I'm going to go on, talk about Pepe. So like I said, is that I'll tell you this story is that I could have made a lot of money in XRP. And you guys been following me for a while. If anybody's been following me over 3 years, you know I hated XRP about 3 or 4 years ago. I used to talk bad about it. I hated it. Even though the price was going up, even though it was being assimilated in a lot of technologies, a lot of companies. I hated XRP, right? And I learned a lesson from that. And I hated Dogecoin at first. And I learned too, and that was the last time I would let that happen because I let my sentiment or my feeling about these stocks, investments or whatever. And remember GameStop, if you guys don't remember, I messed up on GameStop. Is that I thought it was stupid because the fundamentals said that GameStop wasn't supposed to go up. So I stuck to that and I said it's stupid. So I didn't invest. And I saw GameStop going up at $10. And I thought to invest, but I let my emotions take over and I didn't make the investment. So after those 3 things, I said, I promised myself I'm going to look at things a different way. I'm going to look at it analytically. I'm going to look at it rationally because we talk about the emotions of greed and fear in trading. But there's also other emotions that can affect your decisions. And that one is hate, is disgust, disdain. All of that stuff can affect how you see a stock. So all of it's equal. It don't matter if it's greed. It don't matter because it affected your decision-making process. So I said, I promised myself I'm not going to do it. And I came up with 3 rules before I invest in something, right? So the first rule, if there's a yes to the first rule, I'm going to invest. But the other 2 are going to affect how I invest. The first rule is, can I predict the movement of this asset, stock, or crypto? If I can predict the movement up or down, it don't matter because we can short it on the way down, we can go long on the way up, or we can do puts down and call options up. So if I know what's coming next, I can predict the movement, I'm going to invest in it regardless. I don't care what I feel about it, how I hate it. It can't be something immoral, but anything that's not immoral, I'm going to invest in it, right? So these next 2 questions help me decide how I'm going to approach the investment. Second one is, how long can I predict this? Can I predict it out for a year? Can I predict it out for 2 weeks? Or can I predict it for 5 years? That's gonna tell me how long I'm gonna take that investment. If I only can predict the movement for the next week, like an earnings call that's coming up, then I know I'm gonna hold it for a week. If I could predict it for 2 days because there's some kind of technical analysis issue that could be showing or indicator that's showing, then I'm gonna I'll keep it for a couple of days. Or I may keep it for a year. That's going to predict how long I do it. The third one is the asset stable and liquid, right? And that's going to affect my risk management on that stock or asset or crypto, whatever it is. So like I said, the first question is, can I predict the movement of the asset? If I can, I'm investing. Second one is, how long can I predict the movement of this stock? Third is it stable and is it liquid? And those next two are how I'm going to handle it. So that's how I approach stocks now and assets or whatever it is. I don't do it on emotion no more. And like I said, that's why I invested in Pepe. If you guys were on my Wednesday Live, we invested and went up 140%. We all made a lot of money. Some of y'all missed it though. So we made a lot of money on Pepe. And then I remember some people were angry at me because a lot of crypto people, purists, they hate Pepe because it's actually, to be honest, a stupid coin. And it's going to fall one day. It's not staying up. I promise you it's going to fall. It's 100% chance Pepe will eventually drop 80-something% when the whales, the elite, and the rich pull the rug eventually. And they will. And like I said, the rich, the elite, and the wealthy, they see things like this too. They don't trade on sentiment. They trade on opportunity. And I told myself after those 3 things happened with the GameStop, XRP, and Dogecoin, I wasn't trading on emotion no more. I told myself, look, you're trading on emotion. You're not trading on rationality. So I changed on my thought process. Like I said, I think Pepe could make some money in the next 2 weeks. I really believe it's going to keep going up. And I'm telling you why. It's because, and we went over that on Wednesday, it's because of the bubble curve, right? So we haven't gotten a lot of media talking about it. We're right at the beginning of media talking about it. So when media start talking about a stock or an asset, it means there's an exponential move coming. And then there's a steep drop off right after. So that hasn't happened yet. It's happening slowly now. But in a week or 2, we're going to hear about Pepe everywhere. And then once you hear about it everywhere, you're right at the point of being too late. So I think you still got 2 weeks, but you have to approach it very carefully. Because like I said, this is a bad neighborhood. Like any neighborhood you would go into, right? If you go to the hood or whatever, it's a bad neighborhood. That don't mean you can't go. Some of my best times in my life have been playing basketball in dangerous neighborhoods. It was the hypest. It was the one that had the most excitement. It was the one that had the most party atmosphere outside. It was the loudest, best crowds, the most emotional, the most involved crowds. I had more fun playing there than I did at other places that were more professional, whatever. I had more fun playing in places that people would consider bad neighborhoods because it's just a better environment for competition, I think. So, like I said, is that you have to approach it like a bad neighborhood. When I went and played in these bad neighborhoods, I didn't walk the same. I didn't look the same. I didn't talk the same as I did maybe in a safer neighborhood because it's a bad neighborhood. And PepeCoin, penny stocks, and things like this are bad neighborhoods. So you have to protect yourself more. You have to be more careful. You have to practice more risk management. No different than if I went down to a bad neighborhood and got some barbecue or something like that because I liked the place or went to a certain store that had something I wanted. You can go there and you'll most likely be safe, but you have to practice a different set of rules when you walk in these neighborhoods. Same thing with PepeCoin, same thing with penny stocks. So I think, like I said, I think there's still opportunity there for a couple of weeks. And I believe I may go back into it and try to make some money Monday or Tuesday. But like I said, is that you have to be careful. So there's a few things you can do. People say, look, how do I protect myself with something like this? I can't tell you what to buy and sell. I'm not a financial advisor, but I can tell you what I do and certain tactics that I use. So there's two things that I normally do with something like this is that I put my money in. I could just put it all. If I see a steep move up, like 100%, I'm out. That's it. I'm not going to, like if I go to sleep one night, wake up next morning, I'm up, like you last up 140%, I'm out all completely. But there's two other strategies you can use. What I could have done, and I do this sometimes, is that when something doubles like that, like when money doubled overnight, you take out your original investment and you leave the rest in. So now your original investment is 100% safe. Your risk is near zero at that point because you never lost your original money. So the money that's in there, let it run. You know, if the most is going to drop 80%, you still up because you still got more than what you started with. So your risk of losing on that investment is zero after you take out half once it doubles. So I do that sometime. Another one is whenever it's going up, let's say it goes up 25, every time it goes up 10, 15 or 25%, you choose the number, you take out a quarter of the investment. So it goes up 20%, take out 25%. Goes up another 25%, take out another 25. Goes up another time, take out another 25. And just keep doing that all the way up, right? And that's a way to protect your investment also. But like I said, last thing I'm going to say about Pepe and these meme coins is any meme coin. There's going to be other meme coins, right? But if you stay on top of meme coins, you catch them early enough and you practice extreme risk management, you can make some money. And like I said, is that most of them, I'm telling you, most meme coins will eventually fail. You have to have that in the back of your head. Most will fail eventually. One day you're going to wake up rug pulled or whales pulled out and you're going to be down. So you have to constantly think about that when you approach these type of things, much like a bad neighborhood. So let's talk about these semiconductor wars that could possibly come up in the future. So before we start, like I said, if you're new to the channel, I need you guys to subscribe if you haven't done so already. I need you guys to like this content. So we got 650 people here, but we only got 150 likes. So I got to see some likes here. We'll start once we get to like 300. So I got 150 likes, but 650 people in here. That's crazy that I can't even get a like. Let me see. We're up to 200 now. So I need some more likes. 211. Let's get to 300. We got 250 now. Well, let's get started, right? 250, 275. We're close to 300. So I need you guys to like. If you haven't done so, subscribe to the channel. People on Instagram, I appreciate you. So let's move on. We're going to talk about semiconductor wars, right? Because over the next 10 years, the people who own semiconductor stocks or have interest in semiconductor industries are going to be rich. I'm going to lay out why this is going to happen, right? Is that, let's just talk about what a semiconductor is. A lot of people understand what a semiconductor is in relation to computer chips, right? So if we don't have semiconductors, we don't have chips because chips are made of semiconductors. But why are semiconductors so important? Why do we always talk about those? What does the word mean, semiconductor? A conductor is any material where electricity can pass through. Copper, any metal, gold is a great conductor. Any metal can pass, there's a conductor, right? So what is a semiconductor? We know the word semi means some or half, and we know the conductor. So it only lets half of the energy through. What does that mean? But it's a little different. So what a semiconductor does, let's say, for example, we got a copper wire and we pass electricity through that wire. The electricity goes through like a river, like an open door. It just goes right through, and there's no way you can control the flow of electricity through that copper wire. It's going to go one way or go the other way, and that's it. You can't let some of the electricity. You can't do that with a copper wire. So computer chips can't work like that because computer chips have to make decisions. So they need something where they can maybe let some of the electricity through and cut it off, then let maybe a third through and cut off all the electricity to open it back up. So because computers need to make decisions, they have to have a material that's more flexible. I don't mean flexible like bending. I mean flexible like agile, I should say. A more agile material that can allow them to change the electricity. Much like a person that, a dude at the door at the club, right? He lets some people in, don't let other people in. Walmart lets everybody in. That's like a copper wire. The dude at the club, which the bouncer, letting some people in, other people in, that's more like semiconductor. Now, that material is very valuable because it lets some electricity, and then it can change depending on what they need at the time or what the computer needs at the time. So that makes that material very important. And that makes the chips very important because there's only one place in the world that makes chips on the scale that they do, and that's Taiwan, right? And Taiwan, is a company called Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company. It produces like 80% of the world's chips. Almost all the global supply of chips come from Taiwan. Have you ever wondered why Taiwan is so important? Why does China constantly fight over Taiwan, a small island in the ocean? Why does the U.S. constantly meddle in what's happening with China and Taiwan? Have you ever thought that? Isn't that weird? It's not weird because Taiwan produces most of the semiconductors in the world. Whoever controls or has ownership or has interest in semiconductors for the next century is going to be like a country that had control of the oil in the 1900s. Controlling semiconductors in the 2000s is going to be the same as somebody controlling oil in the 1900s. No different. Whoever controls the semiconductors can control the military force and the economic force of any country on the earth by controlling the flow of semiconductors to that country. Now that's great power. And that's why China and the U.S. are fighting over. It's so important that Trump's national security advisor that was with Trump last term, he said that the U.S. had plans to bomb Taiwan and let it burn to the ground before they let China have that place. That's how important Taiwan is. Now, that's extreme, right? So because of that, Taiwan semiconductors are very important. Now, we're in the year of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence uses more computer chips than any other technology on the planet because it's working like a brain. So they need more processing power than any other thing on the planet, any computer, anything else. Artificial intelligence uses a ridiculous amount of processing power, which is going to put a more strain on the semiconductors. It's going to make, we're going to eventually be in war over Taiwan. That's how important it is, especially with the rise of AI. One day we're going to be in war over Taiwan, but I don't know when it's going to happen. But one day, because China's going to try to take it. It's too important for the world. So with that being said, how can we benefit from this? Now, we've made a ridiculous amount of money this year on NVIDIA. A lot of y'all missed it. A lot of y'all wasn't paying attention. A lot of y'all was watching, what's that show, Brother Husbands or whatever it is, and missed it. But we've made almost 120%, 100%, one of those on NVIDIA because we called it out in early January. Because of that, we can predict the AI movement was coming to fruition. But now, then we also made money on other stocks that were AI-based, C3.ai, a lot of other stuff. That's actually falling now. We made money before. So, well, how else can we make money? We talked over the last 2 weeks about AMD. AMD is one of the second biggest chip makers in the country. Now, they also get their chips made in Taiwan, but they design and develop them over, I think, in Arizona or something. So that company has a ridiculous amount of potential because the potential hasn't been seen yet. It's hidden. NVIDIA is already up. AMD hasn't had its time to shine yet. And I think that eventually AMD is gonna, because I tell you, last quarter Nvidia reported a loss, a dropped revenue or whatever, and the stock dropped down, even though we were in the middle of the AI boom. Remember, the AI boom started sometime early this year, so they were reporting the last quarter of last year. They reported in January. So I don't think the market has priced in yet the AI movement and the processor shortages. I don't think so. I think AMD is in a good position to make a lot of movement on this AI movement that's happening right now. So what else I want to say is let's talk about this bull market that's coming up. And we're going to talk about Coinbase, because I think Coinbase has a lot of potential also, but I think Coinbase is going to go up a lot. And I'm going to explain that to you. We're going to break it down how it's going. But before we go into these last two topics, I need you guys to share the live with 10 of your friends on Instagram. I need you guys to subscribe if you haven't done so on YouTube, and I need you to like the content. But before we start, I want to talk about the CNC. The CNC, the Chestnut Checkers Group, is our group of people who we give daily stock trades to. It's not just about stocks. We give signals to. We also are integrating technology. We also integrate crypto. We have events. We have a lot of things going on in that group. We have free classes, hundreds of classes that you can take on a lot of subjects, from real estate, from trading, crypto, NFTs, technology classes. We got hundreds of classes that you can take. We have a lot of the options inside there. We have lives after we do Strategy Sunday. We do what we call the after party, which we drill down on the certain stocks and we talk about when to buy, when to sell. We go over the technical analysis of it. So if you guys are thinking about joining the CNC, it's $67 a month. I haven't raised the price yet because I haven't added to technology classes. So next week sometime, hopefully, probably, I'm going to add those technology classes. When I do that, the program, the Python, C++, C++, and C# and VB classes, I got to raise the price to $97. So if you get it right now at $67, you'll be locked in forever at $67. I still got people from like 4 years ago, when I started in 1999, that are still locked in at $19.99. That's all I'll ever charge them. So, and I always issue a challenge, and I say, join the CNC. Give me a month. If you don't make your money back, you got to put work in. You have to be there and you have to be present. But if you try and you don't make money, let me know. You have all your money back. And I'll also give you 3 more months in the CNC. And you can have it for free. That's how confident I am of the CNC. I've had so many people come in there the first month and message me and say, I just made enough to pay for the CNC for 10 years, 5 years, 7 years. I just made enough to pay my son's college. This is stories we hear every day in the CNC. Now, everybody won't have those stories, but every day it's a story like that. But I'm not saying everybody does, but every day we hear a story of the CNC changing somebody's life. Now, you got to put in the work, but there's great opportunity in the Chestnut Checkers Group. So I want to move on. And like I said, if you want to join, click the link in my bio. I'll put the link also in YouTube right here. Give me a second. But if you're on Instagram, just click the link in my bio. Or you can go to jointhecnc.com. Jointhecnc.com. Or you can text the word CNC to 89603. 89603, and you'll get a link. Text the word CNC to 89603. So somebody just made $80 the first week he was in the CNC. So let's go on to the bull market that's coming, right? So there's a bull market coming in stocks and in crypto, but it's going to be later on, right? So there's 3 things that when they've happened in the past, that says that it's a 90% chance that a bull market in the stock market's coming. People will respond to that and say, hey, but inflation's at a all-time high. Well, there's a recession coming. I hear all this bad stuff that's happening. How can the stock market be going into a bull run? It's a simple answer. The stock market is forward-looking. We're in 2023. The stock market's in 2024. They're already looking at the recovery. Stock market's always ahead. They're living in the future while we're living in the present, always. So the stock market looks ahead, and the stocks are priced based on what's coming, not what it is today. So we can have a recession and the stock market start reacting to what's coming in 24, which is they're starting to do. So there's three things that basically say there's going to be a bull market. One is that a positive January performance. Almost 87% of the time when we're in January with a positive performance, there's a bull market that year. And that's just one indicator. The second one is that there was what's called a golden cross pattern on the S&P 500, which is always a sign. I think that's like 70% of the time it means that we're going to have a bull run. And then this is the one that really hit me, is that stocks are making new highs, not new lows. So if you think about this, if a stock goes up and goes down a little bit and goes up, goes down, you see you're in an upward trend. The lows are never as low as the previous low, but the highs are getting higher. And we're seeing that in a number of stocks over the last 2 months. And that's the sign of a positive trend forming. So with all those three things, I would say we got a 95% chance of being in a bull market sometime this summer, which in a bull market, all stocks, like the saying goes, rising tide raises all ships. So if we go in a bull market, all stocks will start going up. It'll be like 2020, 21 again. And we'll be able to make option plays every single day for the people who learn. That's why it's important to learn now why things are stable, why the plane's still on the ground. Because once the plane takes off, you miss your chance. That's why the CNC is so important. You have to learn now. You have to learn pattern analysis. You have to learn chart reading. You have to learn shorts and longs and how these things work over the next 3 months. When the stock market takes off, you're ready to go. So last thing I want to talk about here is Coinbase. I'm sorry, I want to talk about one stock that's going to do well over the next 3 months. So there's a company out there. I forgot to say there's a company out there that actually beat earnings last week, right? And it's a company that we all use this app, right? We probably all use this app. And what was the most exciting thing to me about this app is that it posted a $2.16 billion revenue the first quarter of 23 from Bitcoin transactions, which is a ridiculous amount. That's off the fees, not off the transactions, off the fees. So they posted first quarter and they blew past expectations. The stock rose a lot, right? So it's an entire financial ecosystem for individuals and merchants, and it's growing quickly. And they're positioned in a way that they can expand their offerings. And it's an app that we use every day. I pay people for that. So I pay for my haircuts, pay for this, pay for that. And it's Cash App. Cash App is owned by Block, BLOCK. Right now, Block's trading at $59.65. But I think it can go to 100 over the next year or so. Because, like I said, is that what's going to happen with this is that Block's already doing, any company that's related to crypto that's doing well before the halving that's coming in April of 24. For those who don't know, the halving is when the Bitcoin supply gets cut in half, happens roughly every 4 years. So when Bitcoin supply gets cut in half, there's a 3 or 4 month delay, and then Bitcoin always goes up. It's been happening for 12 years. It's not going to stop now. So that's on the horizon. Any company that can survive this crypto winter that's related to Bitcoin, they can position themselves well. They can expand their offerings. They can expand their user base. They're going to shine when Bitcoin, sometime next summer, these companies are going to go bananas. They're going to shine. They're going to blow up because they're going to be positioned to benefit greatly off of that Bitcoin halving that's coming. So like I said, Block, I think, is a good one. And that's the one I'm adding to my portfolio over the next 2 weeks. It's 59. I think it's going to 100 over the next 6 months to a year, I should say. Now, the last one I think has great opportunity, and it's the same thing we were just talking about, is that any company that could survive the crypto winter, FTX couldn't, Voyager couldn't, the other cryptos couldn't. So the only people left standing are going to benefit greatly when crypto comes back. And like I said, I'll make this promise to you. I'll bet All you guys can unfollow me if this don't happen. My entire life is based in this. So if this, what I'm saying is that I'm certain, I will say with 100% chance, and like I said, I would bet 100% of my money that Bitcoin is coming back in 24. And the only thing that'll stop it is government intervention. Now, I can't predict that, or a world war or something, but if no huge macro events happen, there's 100% chance that Bitcoin's going to recover in 24. There's too many convergent reasons why. There's 100% chance that Bitcoin's going to pass its previous high sometime 24, 25. That's how certain I am of it. So any company that's still standing when this happens is going to go up 3, 4, 5, maybe even 10 times, especially Coinbase. Because there was rumors that Coinbase was going to fail during the worst of the crypto winter. So Coinbase released their first quarter results last week. They blew them out. Blew at past expectations. The stock went up 19%, I think Friday. And that's exactly what we talked about on Strategy Sunday 3 weeks ago. I said that the market was misanalyzing Coinbase. And they still are. That's the crazy thing. The market is still underanalyzing Coinbase. And it's simple. It's because all those analysts. So right now, Coinbase is at 58.24. It was up 20% on Friday. Most of the analysts, 90% of the analysts have it going to 67 and not past it. But Coinbase just beat market expectations. So there's something that happens after a company beats expectations this much, is that the analysts start to upgrade the stock. Some do it on the day of the earnings release, but because Coinbase is a crypto company, it's going to be delayed. And that's an opportunity for us because the analysts work for the banks, Bank of America, JP Morgan, go on CNBC or go on any financial show. And when the analysts come out and they talk, look at what bank they work for. Every single analyst works for a bank. And the banks give them the marching orders that morning. These are the stocks you talk about. These are the stuff you can't talk about because this is what we're holding. If a Bank of America is holding all this stock in, let's say, NVIDIA, their analysts ain't going to go on TV and dog NVIDIA. You can forget that. If they're short on a stock, the analysts going to go on TV and tell you that stock is bad because they need their money. Or if they need to get in the price low enough, the analysts going to go on and dog the stock. So because of this, analysts are going to be very, very, very slow to upgrade Coinbase. And it's going to take them weeks when they should have done it on Friday. But eventually, they're going to have to, or they're going to look stupid. And no analyst wants to look stupid or they didn't know. So they'll be forced to upgrade Coinbase within a week or two. And when they do, it's going to skyrocket. They're going to raise their expectation to 85, 90 something, maybe even higher than that. 75, 85, 95, somewhere in that range. And then once they do that, all the people on the sidelines who were scared are going to buy it, and it's going to push that stock through the sky. And it's a great opportunity because it's what we call a marketing efficiency. And I've made millions and millions of dollars on understanding marketing efficiencies. And what that means, what a marketing efficiency is that the players in a market either deny the information in front of them or they don't know or understand the information. So what happens is there's a lot of money to be made. And if you guys know my story I always talk about when I used to sell Nintendos on eBay, I would go to the Goodwill, I'd buy these $20 Nintendos, I'd open up, clean them up inside, I'd fix some of the problems, and I'd sell them on eBay for $160. So I made a ridiculous markup, right? That only lasted 6 months. People figured it out, then I couldn't sell it for $40, $30 after that. So what I stumbled upon, that was the first time I stumbled upon a marketing efficiency. The Goodwills and the flea markets I was buying them from didn't know how much they cost because eBay was new. So they were still selling for $20 because they didn't understand what they had. So I was buying them. It only took 6 months for that to close. Then everybody understood it. That's what's going to happen with Coinbase. 6 months, a year from now, everybody's going to understand Coinbase's potential. So you got a short time when there's a marketing efficiency out there to execute and profit. So with that being said, I think with Coinbase being where it's at, and with the Bitcoin halving coming in 24, and they're really the number one place you could buy Bitcoin, their stock's going to go, I would say, 200 to 400 in the next 3 to 4 years. What's that? 8 times? I think I don't see it not going. I don't see it going past it. I don't see it not going. So I'm gonna let you guys answer any questions you have. Appreciate those badges, man. Like I said, if you're on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel and like the content, because still got 700 people in there, but only 335 have liked the content. Ain't that crazy? So before y'all leave, I need you to like the content. Let's look at some of these questions on YouTube. Somebody says, do I have to pay for classes in the CNC? No, you don't. If you go on the left side, there's a class directory over there. It has all the classes for free. I don't think, Howard, contact one of the moderators there. They'll show you where the free classes are. I think you're talking about something else, because the free classes are there. Like I said, if you want to join the CNC, go to jointhecnc.com, or you could text the word CNC to 89603. Any chance of Bitcoin dipping sometime in the near future? It probably will. So I don't know, but the thing about it, it's a weird game to play, because I don't know how it's going to go before it drops. So it could, let's say it goes up to 40 and drops down to 32. You still would have gotten better at 30. I wouldn't play that game, because I would just average in. And I can't tell you what to buy and sell. I'm not a financial advisor, but I would be afraid to wait until it drops. I just wouldn't do that. I'd rather average in. I'd rather buy a little bit every month for the next 7, 8 months, maybe 10 months. I'd feel more comfortable doing that. I wouldn't feel comfortable waiting for something to drop, because I don't know when it's going to drop. I don't know how. Let's say it spiked up to 45, then dropped back down to 32. Well, you could have bought it at 30 and would have been better off. So we don't know how high the spikes are going to go. It's unpredictable, really. Bitcoin is still, and crypto in general, is not a mature market yet. It's still being slightly manipulated. It still isn't, like, for example, the New York Stock Exchange is only one market. Bitcoin has hundreds of markets. Each one of them can manipulate. It's very difficult to predict because of that. Some people can and do, but it's too unpredictable for me to be day trading it or trying to figure out what the drops and stuff. I just look at it long term and buy and hold. The Litecoin halving is in August, Ray John, I believe. He just asked when the Litecoin halving was. Okay, so just learned how to day swing trade. I'm really thinking about joining the CNC. Yeah, we day trade and swing trade in there. Been watching you for a minute in the shadows, and I've been nothing but impressed with you. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, so in the CNC, somebody asked me, are we going to talk about any up-and-coming meme tokens? That's one of our initiatives we're going to do this week, is we're going to put a meme coin group in there. So all our members will start finding these meme coins and alerting us, and we'll start doing it too, as the CNC team will start looking into meme coins and start alerting people of those meme coins inside the CNC. We're gonna drop we're gonna add a new group in there, or a new, I guess, conversation or tab, just to talk about meme coins. Yeah, somebody said, if you're a complete beginner, can you get help in the CNC? That's what we're here for. We have moderators that help you, and we also have free classes that help you, and also the other members will help you. So we got the moderators that help you, we got the free classes, and we got other members that help you. And we also got 2 things coming up in New York. We have an event June 10th. It's going to be in New York. And we also got one in Miami, which is a much bigger event. It was supposed to be May 20th, but we had to change it because of some issues. So now it's July 15th. So like I said, if you're in New York, I would encourage you to go to that event in New York. I'm going to send out an email and I'll send out a text also once we set the event up this week. I'm a join, bro. Not going to keep snoozing. I appreciate you, Elvin. The CNC as far as what you make of it. Everything in life is what you make of it. You can't, if you buy a subscription for the gym is not going to push you on it. They're not going to put you on the machine. They're not going to call you and tell you got to come to work out. They're not going to monitor you to see where, what you're doing. They put the gym out there for you. All the equipment is there. They put the trainers there for you to ask for help from, and all you got to do is do it. Same thing with the CNC. It's a gym for the mind. We put all the supplies, we put all the tools there for you, but you have to use it. You have to do it. With that being said, I hope you guys have a great night. Thanks for joining. Have a great rest of your week.